Yo, it's Go, and welcome to the video. Wanted to cover a few things about Haste rating, and why is it 401 Haste for the Haste cap in Wrath of the Lich King, and what our Haste cap will be in the pre-patch at level 70. So our Wrath only takes 1.5 seconds to cast at both level 70, and that stays the same once we hit level 80 and with the new talent tree. What will change is Nature's Grace. Instead of spell crits giving us 0.5 seconds off of our next cast, it changes to all non-periodic spell crits have a 100% chance to grace you with a Blessing of Nature, increasing your spell casting speed by 20% for 3 seconds. So when we get a Nature's Grace proc during the pre-patch and into Wrath, it takes our 1.5 second cast speed divided by 1.2, and our Wrath now has a 1.25 cast. So we're halfway to getting to that 1 second cast time for our cap, which is the global cooldown cap. But before we get to the 401 haste rating, there's a few other things that are going to give us haste. So the first thing, if we put 3 points into Celestial Focus, the last part of the tooltip there increases your total spell haste by 3%, and also improved Moonkin form 3 out of 3. Your Moonkin aura also causes affected targets to gain 3% haste, and you to gain 30% of your spirit as additional spell damage. And the last place we'll be getting haste from is from our shaman with the Wrath of Air totem. This gives us 5% spell haste. So we can take all of those, do some more math, divide each one separately. 3% for Celestial Focus, 3% more for Moonkin form, 5% from our Wrath of Air totem, and then 20% from Nature's Grace. So we've gotten really close now. We still need 0.12 seconds off of our cast to get to the cap. So the haste formula for level 80 looks like this, except for instead of 401, we would have 0. But if we put the 401 in there, 401 divided by 3,279, add our 1, and we get the last 0.12 seconds to reach the cap. So if we take it all together, take our 1.5, divide that by what we just got from the formula, divide by the 3% from Celestial Focus, 3% from Moonkin form, 5% from Totem, and then 20% from Nature's Grace. And we just breached that 1 second cast time. So now that we have level 80, we can go back to level 70 for the pre-patch. So we can keep the same amount that we'll need percentage-wise, 12.23% to get to the cap. Just change the formula. Spoiler alert, it's 193. So if we take 193 divided by 1577, add our 1, we get our cap. So I started working on a set of gear for the pre-patch to try to not get too much over that 12.23%. I'm still at 13.25, so a little bit over, but our haste is still going to help our Starfire cast, so being a little bit over, not a big deal. But I do have some weird pieces in here. I tried to get some crit spell power pieces for a lot of slots. So for example, the PvP neck I have. For one, it gives me a blue socket, so I don't have to use a blue gem or purple gem and a red socket like I am for the belt. But a lot of the other more recent necks have haste on them, like the Sunwell neck, the Jewel Crafting necks, both have haste. I might end up switching to the Translucent Spell Thread neck if I need the hit. If I keep moving gear around, this is an option, no haste, a little more crit. The spell power is almost the same with the socket bonus, the gem, and the little bit of bonus spell power we get from our intellect. Maybe I was just trying too hard to find a piece that would look weird. And then for a lot of the other gear, I was trying to look for pieces that had spirit, crit, spell power. So the Helm of Arcane Purity, the shoulder pads, the cloak was just too good, and so on and so forth. But I did all of this research and math yesterday when I was thinking about what gear I was going to show interest in during our loot council discussion tonight. There's plenty of different ways that you can choose to try to gear your tune from now until level 80, and for me personally it might lean towards a set something like this. It's not going to be the best in slot, it's not going to do the most DPS, but it'll get me ready for that pre-patch, which is where I want to have tons of fun and blast in Sunwell, Black Temple, everything. So as long as I get the tier belt, boots, and bracers, I'll be a happy boomy. I'll use 4-piece, tier 5, 4-piece, tier 6, probably up until the pre-patch, depending on how long Sunwell is going to be out until the pre-patch comes out. If we have 5 or 6 months and all bosses are available week 1, I might have time to get more of a Abyss set and this set, but I'm just ready for the new rotation, and I want to make sure that my gear will set me up for success. So just a little something to keep in mind. It's a really low haste soft cap in the pre-patch, and I've got my set ready to not go too overboard.